Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is Carmina, astrologer and card reader, and today we have with us again Vedic astrologer Levi Kozan. Welcome back, Levi.
Hi Carmina, how are you?
Good. So
Mhm.
as you know, if you've been following this channel for in the past videos, we already mentioned that we co-wrote a book. It's called Astrology Explained: Ancient Principles for the Modern Mind. And
Mhm.
it's a 200-page book. We explore the core, the fundamental principles that we extracted from ancient Sanskrit texts that have, passed the test of time, such as Parashara, Jaimini, Yavanajataka, and so on. So what we did is we organized this information in a systematic manner. We have 4 chapters: the signs, the planets, the houses, and the aspects. And we did our best to intertwine the technical aspects with our more philosophical commentary, and not just the things that we learned from our teachers, but also our own personal insights that came with the years and years of astrological practice. So I'm gonna share with you guys the cover of the book. What was your favorite part about the book, Levi, when writing the book?
Mm. Well, but I think also it's worth mentioning that we spent quite some time talking about the astronomy,
Yes.
connecting it to the astronomy, also the psychology and anatomy. So I think, yeah, writing a book, you learn so much. We broke it down into several categories. For example, all the signs and the planets. We used all these categories used in these ancient or old texts, right, which are compilations of much older texts, we assume. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's very interesting to kind of dive back into that spirit, that time, and to really think about the sutras, because we get those, we learn, we have our teachers, we learn from them, right? We copy them. But then I think one of the most interesting things for me, and I know you share this same vision or opinion, is that when you go write a book, you have to think for yourself. You try to think more about these things for yourself, and you forget about the things you've learned before, and try to make something new, to create some new insight, and so on. So I don't have really a favorite part. I loved working all chapters. I think it was really wonderful to do it with, to co-author it. Yeah, so to do it with 2 people, because we talked about many things. We had many different perspectives. I've learned so much. Yes, and so I think what I really liked was the outer planets stuff also. I think we had some nice insights, especially when connecting them to the nodes, because I knew that idea was around, but I hadn't really gone into it, really thought about it. And but by writing it, I think we came to some new and interesting insights and conclusions, and things that we can use in our practice also. I think this book is very practical. People who are into astrology, just getting into it, or have been into it for quite some time, or more thorough students, they will definitely benefit from it. I think I would, if beginning my studies, I would have had such a book. So yeah, I'm proud of it. And so I think it's practical. There's a lot of examples, graphs, tables, charts. It's an easy read because we it has technicalities in it, of course, and the astronomy is in there too. But then we also try to really apply it and to make it practical,
And
especially also the planets and so on. Mm-hmm.
another thing that I really liked is that this book is not necessarily for those people who are into Vedic astrology or Western astrology. It's people
Exactly. Yeah.
interested in astrology in general, because people who have a background in Western astrology will realize that a lot of the principles, not if not most of the principles that they are working with, that they are used to, they source back to more ancient times, and also they can complement, they can have a more wholesome understanding of these principles. Like for instance, why is Jupiter said to be, you know, a more harmonious, a more gentle planet? And
Yes.
why, yes, and the graha drishti, like we had some great insights on the nature of the planets and on the nature of the aspects that they cast. And so
Oh,
I
I think that's really, really interesting point because I think, yeah, that's one of the really nice points, I think, is the Graha aspects used in Parashara. You know, if you then um, look at what the Tajika aspect, well, the Western astrology aspects, we could say, which are based on Tajika,
mhm,
they have their root there, of course. And so it's very interesting to look at the overlap or how these systems are also intricately connected.
yeah.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
I'm sure there was exchange. I mean, because of the names that Kendra, Apoklima, there were exchanges also between the Greeks and the Sanskrit.
Yeah.
So we are not going to say this type of astrology is better or anything like that. We are just,
Mm.
you know, if you come from a Western astrology background, you have to come with an open mind. Maybe you learn something new and some more things will click to you, and you will, instead of memorizing things mechanically, you will just understand them, so you will help your clients better. And also, if you are already into Vedic astrology, this book is a good, you know, a systematic reference, like
Yeah.
something you can go to. It's like, oh, I forgot, what is this, why is this, oh, I'm going to go to this page and check it out. So I think that is the beauty of the book. It's also, we always we try to connect patterns, so to make it more easier to understand why this is, you know, it's not just because it's like that, but it's because, you know, this planet has this nature and it connects to this in this way. This house shows this. So you can, you know, you can create your own story by understanding, like really really understanding the fundamentals, you know.
Yes, and also numerology. There's a lot of numerology in it as well, which is
Component,
plays
yes.
yes, which is important in terms of elaborating on and developing your systems. And so yeah, I think that's also, forgot what I was going to say now, but yeah, the thing is that we want to apply a systematic approach. So this is, you know, the first book of a series of books that we are going to write. And when I got into astrology in the beginning, it was more like a snapshot thing, like this planet in this house, it gives this result or something like that, or, you know, all these
Cookbook.
fragments and bits of information, cookbooks stuff, which is good because this is the way you get into it and you get familiar with the signs, the planets, and so on. So it's a language that you have to learn. But then at a certain point, you really want a systematic approach. You really want to understand why things are, because of why things are as they are. And so I think that's what in this book also we give a systematic approach. Yes, so we give the different categories of the signs, the planets, how they are connected, the intricacies, and so on. So um, which I think a lot of astrology books don't really do. You know, there's a lot of general information out there, but a really systematic approach is, there are, of course, books like that, but it less in, you know, numbers. So I think that was one of the goals that I had personally to, when, you know, writing something, is to really break it down for people who get into it, to get a faster understanding of what is actually going on with all these symbols and you know, these principles. And so yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the also we wanted to mention that the book is currently available. We have the English version and the version in Dutch, and probably will
Mm-hmm.
translate it into more languages as time passes. At the moment, it's a digital format, but it's also very possible that we will have, you know, a printed version. So stay tuned for more info on all of this.
Yes, and for people, because the Dutch translation is there for people who speak Dutch. So all these sutras, have been, we all translated them into the Dutch language. And so this will also happen later on for Romanian people and so on. So I think that's interesting too.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you're really curious about the book, you can click the link in the description box. You'll be hearing more about it because actually we're really proud about it. It was a lot of hard work on both our part, and we, sacrificed our time when we could have been doing readings or other things. But we really wanted to put this out there because it's a really useful guide, a really useful tool to approach astrology or to refresh your astrological knowledge. So we thought, this is important.
I agree. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So,
so yeah, so Levi and I will be hosting a series also of workshops, of webinars that will be exploring chapters of the book. We're gonna come back with info on that soon. Until then, if you want to pick up a copy, just go to the link that is in the description. And if you are interested into astrology but not necessarily to learn about it, just to get a reading, you can always contact me or Levi. My website is yourstarsonline.com. Levi is levikozan.com. Both will be added in the description box. So yes.
yeah, and also we're going to do webinar on Charanavamsha too. Yeah, that's
Yes.
also something we should mention. The Charanavamsha, which is one of the Jaimini, the Rashi Dashas, and which is so incredibly interesting and easy to use. And so we're going to do some classes on that as well.
Yes, we have so many ideas for classes. We just have to, prioritize. Because there's
Yes, first things first.
a lot. Okay, thank you guys. See you again soon. Thanks, Levi, for joining us and for co-writing this book because, it's really nice to have someone to bounce your ideas with because although you have a similar astrological background, you have different, cultural and other types of books that you both read. So it's interesting how to put these things together and create something.
Definitely. Yes. So
Okay,
thank you, Carmina. Yeah.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye. See you soon.